because
This
I'm
conference will
getting my
now be
voice
recorded.
my
Okay.
voice again. Okay, so my name is Anish, and if you talk about my success factors experience, that would be 5 years. Core success factors 5 years, and prior to that, I had a little bit of introduction of success factors, and prior to that, 7 years of experience into human resources and US IT staffing. Right now, I'm working on recruitment on onboarding and onboarding modules. So I I don't remember the exact count of the onboarding and recruiting module implementations, but I think 6 or 7 recruitment implementations and 12 or 13 onboarding 2.0 implementation. I have done one implementation for onboarding 1.0. If you remember the company, if you know the company's name, Honda, Honda Cars, I did the onboarding 1.0 implementation, and in India, the second implementation for onboarding 2.0 was done by me for this Bajaj consumers, the almond oil and all. So this is all about me. Narsimha, I would like to start with you because you are flashing on my screen the biggest name. So could you please explain, introduce yourself and what do you do? Do you have any prior experience, or this is the you are a fresher? You work anywhere? Please go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me right?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm Narasimha. I'm having 8 years of experience in
Nice.
success in SAP and success factors. Currently into
Hmm.
working as an end user in success factors, but I want to get into RCM and onboarding training currently.
Hmm. So 8 years all in success factors.
No, no, in SAP
Hmm.
HCM and currently doing as testing in SF,
SF. So which modules you are testing for?
EC and PMGM.
So you mean to say that you work in a company where success factors is deployed
Yes,
or
yes, yes,
implemented,
yes.
and you are working as an
Yes.
end user? So they are implementing right now, or they are already live and they are doing some enhancements?
No, no, they are migrating for some different countries actually. So I'm doing the testing. Development
You're
team is
doing
different and I am doing testing.
okay. And why are should I don't know if I should ask or not. Why recruitment only? What attracts you towards recruitment?
Like currently market apart from EC, there are good for RCM and uh,
That is true because RCM is
onboarding.
kind of stepping. Yeah, RCM and onboarding are kind of stepping stone for entering the success factor system for any company. Reason behind because you attract the talent via recruitment marketing. Recruitment management is the ATS, applicant tracking system. So your candidate goes through the life cycle of screening, then assessments, interviews, then offer approvals, sending the offer letter, acceptance of the offer letter by the candidate, and then finally the onboarding. And then the onboarding module happens. So yes, this is the initial module which starts with the which starts the candidate's life cycle of employment. So yes, it is good in the market. Now, Aditya.
So myself Aditya, and I have around 3 years of experience into recruitment and onboarding. Not into SF. I am actually working as a technical recruiter in a startup. So just thought like no to shift my career as a techno functional consultant, and that's why I was very much interested to do SAP success factors in RCM and onboarding.
And how did you come to know about SAP Success Factors and SAP Success Factors recruiting?
So basically, few of my friends are working in SAP, and even I started my career in SAP basis. But then, due to few reasons, I wasn't able to continue in that MNC. So I had a break in my career. After that, I completed my post graduation in MBA, and then I started it off as a technical recruiter.
Mhm. And I guess because of your background in recruitment and onboarding, you want to go with the recruitment and
Yes.
onboarding success factors
Yeah,
recruitment and
yeah,
onboarding.
correct, correct. Yeah,
Nice,
this was
nice.
also some of my friends were suggesting that it will at least know to match it up to some level that you are coming from the same background, so it might not be that difficult to get into a job.
We both share the same background. I was into human resources and I used to do recruitment. I was recruitment lead in one of the companies, IT companies. Then I got moved into US IT staffing because the pay
Mm-hmm.
is good in US IT staffing. And then after that, one of my friend, now who is my friend, he joined that company and worked under me. And he was
Okay.
into SAP HCM. Then he got moved, and then I got the job along with him. Nice.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I hope you achieve the same. Now,
Thank
Subbu,
you.
welcome. So I see two names, two Subbu. So one, both the names are like both the people are one, or they are two different people. Sai Kumar Guntakala. Hello, Sai. Good morning. Hello, Sai. Hello, Sai. If you are speaking, you are on mute.
Yeah. Hi
Hey, good
Anish.
morning. How are
Hi
you?
everyone.
Hey,
Sorry
how?
for delay. Yeah, sorry for
No worries,
late.
no worries. This is the first day, and we have not started with the training per se. We are just
Mhm.
introducing ourselves. So out of the blue, you just came. Now it's your turn to introduce yourself. Then I'll be
Yeah.
introducing myself.
Sure, sure. Myself Sai Kumar and I'm working as a success factor EC consultant for the last 3 years. Prior to
Hmm.
that, I have many years of experience into human resource operations. And
Hmm.
after that, I moved to success factor and I'm going with a great career and I'm in some product company where my company needs my experience in different modules as well. That's why I'm exploring, RCM module, which is a crucial part for my current company, as long
Hmm.
as with EC module. That is simply about me.
Okay. So Sai, you are into Employee Central, and you want to you do the implementation, or you are the end user?
Actually, I do implementation, end-to-end implementation. I have 3 years of experience in implementation and support projects in
Hmm.
Infosys and Sonata software. Then I recently joined, 6 months back into one product company, life sciences company. Here I was internal support as well as the end user, like
Hmm.
project management kind of thing. I'm the only person who has handling everything, every module in SuccessFactor, as we have implementation partner outside organization.
So this module, the implementation for this life science company is completely done, and you're just supporting it.
Yes.
In
Implementation is
order,
everything is done and it is ongoing project actually. And
Mhm,
Blueprint is supporting us. And small, if at all is there any major implementations or major customizations in the system, we used to call Blueprint. Otherwise, we used to do it internally.
I got it, got it. So you're supporting internally, kind of acting as a project manager whenever there is any major change, enhancement. Then you're acting as a project manager, or else you're supporting the success factors tool.
Yes, correct.
Mhm. Okay, about me, I think most of us, Aditya, me, you all share the same kind of background, and I
Oh,
am also from human resources, and I was doing recruiting as in I was recruiting lead for a domestic IT company, and then
uh-huh.
I was taking care of employee grievances and all, and then I got moved into USIT staffing. If you've heard about USIT staffing, that then good, or if not, then I'll explain it a little bit to you. So
Yeah, I
USIT
have been worked for international operations as well. I'm aware of US and UK operations.
yes, so we kind of share the same background then. And then
Yes.
there I got introduced with success factors, and then I got moved to success factors. did the certification, joined a company, then here I am talking to you for recruitment and onboarding modules. I implement recruitment and onboarding modules. If you talk about my experience, I would have done 5 or 6 implementations in recruitment. Why I'm saying that 5 or 6? Because when you leave a company in between the project, that project is midway. Sometimes it's into UAT, sometimes it's into IT2. So
Correct.
or 12 to 13 onboarding 2.0 for projects, and one project in onboarding one. Honda and Bajaj consumers I have implemented, and in fact
Mhm.
Tata Communications Limited also for 5 countries, and then I have left that first company, first Success Factors company. My Success Factors implementation experience would be 5 years, and my total experience will be 11 to 12 years.
Oh,
So
great to
now
know. Yeah.
let's discuss what we have to achieve during this session. What is success factors? What like briefly what all modules are there? What is recruiting? Is success factors an ERP or not? Do you guys know what is ERP?
Enterprise resource planning.
Yes. So is success factors an ERP or not?
Yes, it is an ERP product, SAP ERP.
No. SAP is
No, it's a
ERP
SaaS.
product.
It's a SaaS. It's a SaaS product.
Yes. So it integrates with SAP ERP to provide a comprehensive suite of business management tools, but it is not an ERP. Now, what is success factor? This is a cloud-based HCM software suite which is designed to optimize the HR processes. Now, it offers solutions for the talent management, employee engagement, performance management, and beyond. Now, with its user-friendly interface and robust features, you can say nice features, Success Factors helps businesses streamline HR operations and enhance the workforce productivity efficiently. There are multiple modules in Success Factors, and the best part of Success Factors is that you do not have to have the servers based in your location. It is a cloud based system. You have a laptop, you have a system, you have a cell phone, you have an iPad, or any tablet. You just need an URL to log into your Success Factors account. You do not have to be physically present, because initially in the initial days, I guess, for HCM you had to take a system remote when you are not in the office via any of the tools and then work, or else you have to be in the work because the server is there. But nowadays, or we could say for in case of Success Factors, you just need a link, a URL, an URL to log into Success Factors. And mainly, or you can say namely, there I'll just name few of the modules starting from our recruitment marketing, which is to which is designed to attract the talent. Let's say you have a requirement in the company. You must have been to Naukri.com or any of the job portals, right? So sorry. So what happens when you go to that job board or Naukri.com or any of the job search page? You look for the job there. By the same in the same manner, Success Factors has this tool, recruitment marketing, which is to attract the talent. Now, once the talent has, or the candidate has seen the job, they apply on the job. That comes into recruitment management. Recruitment management is quite robust, or you can say flexible. It can be integrated with multiple systems. Right now, I am working on for my current client, I am working on a system that is called Eightfold for the same job which recruitment marketing does. So Success Factors is quite flexible. It can be integrated with different systems. In this case, I'm talking about recruitment management only. Now, once the candidate applies, that moves through the life cycle of recruitment, such as they apply, resume is being screened by either by recruiter, hiring manager, HRBP. These are rules in the recruitment. So manager, you definitely understand. Then recruiter is someone who recruits the candidate. Sourcer, who is sourcing the profile. So there are multiple roles will come during the training part. what all roles are there, what are their denominators, or you can say operator denominators, how is the permissioning done. We are going to discuss everything during our sessions. Now, once the candidate has applied, they go through the recruitment life cycle, like screening, interview, assessment if there is any assessment required. Then if they clear the interview, if they agree for the if the salary negotiations are done, both the parties agree, then offer approval. Once the offer approval is done internally, offer approval is not sent to the candidate, offer approval is done, then you get the offer letter. The candidate gets the offer letter. It depends on the client what kind of offer letter they have designed. Like it can be like having the salary components or not. Now once that is done, the candidate is finally moved for the background verification. So in most of the companies, they do the background verification during the recruitment process only. So background verification, and then finally initiating the onboarding. So the candidate can be hired into or moved into onboarding module, and then moved into the employee central. We are mainly going to focus into recruitment. So including the modules, if I talk about the modules, there is recruitment marketing, from which I started, recruitment management, which we have to work on, onboarding module. On candidate moves from recruitment to onboarding to do the documentation, such as signing their compliance form in case of US, UK, and 3 other countries, sharing their compliance documents, uh, for it can be for any country, manager tasks, blah blah blah. So those things we do not have to discuss. Then after the onboarding, they get moved to employee central. Once the once the employee is there in the system, they definitely have to learn something. Learning as in, let's say you want them to learn about the non-disclosure agreement, that when you join the company, there is a non-disclosure agreement that they have to learn about. If they Once they join the company, you want them to follow the code of conduct. So you create the learning for that, and you have that for employees. Performance and goals. If an employee is there in the company, you definitely want them to learn something, to assess their performance, assign some goals to them. So there comes the performance and goal management. Compensation management, there comes your the salary, handles the salary planning and rewards. Now succession and development, it identifies the talent for the future role. So let's say, suppose I am a manager in my company. What if I move to a next level? Who is going to succeed my position? Who is going to be my successor? So companies are smart nowadays. They keep planning these things. So in case if I leave the company or I get moved to a new position, there would be a successor. Like you say, there would be a successor already trained, developed to take my position, so company does not face any losses. Now there is one more module, workforce analytics, which is into performance metrics and workforce trends. Then time and attendance management, that is also kind of part of employee central, but that is a separate module. And then this talent module, which we have, like recruitment, performance, learning, and more. These gets covered under the talent module only. Now, what is recruitment? Because that is the main thing we have to discuss. Now, recruitment helps the companies attract, engage, and select the best talent. Using the success factors recruitment you can use the success factors recruitment to create and advertise jobs, and provide the candidates a great candidate experience. So let's say you come to a company, you go to a company and you just sit in the lobby, you wait for some time, and your interview happens, and then you get hired or you do not get hired. That is a different story. But the candidate experience is not there. So success factors recruitment is going to enhance the candidate experience. So you can select the best candidate, make job offers, and close out the recruiting process along with initiating the onboarding. That can utilize the success factors onboarding, or that can have different like different modules or different tools for engaging the on candidate. Now let me do one thing. Let's discuss the agenda. For now, do you guys have any questions as of now?
I'm good, Anish. Yeah, you can carry on.
Perfect. Guys,
Yeah.
anytime you have any question, just stop me for a moment, ask those questions. Because if you do not ask those questions, or wait for the session to end and ask those questions, because if you do not ask those questions, there won't be any point in having the sessions, because you won't be getting anything in terms of learning. So just ask the questions pop up anytime. Now, during our training, we are going to do the basic checks in provisioning. By basic checks, we mean what all settings has to be enabled for the success factors recruiting to work. There are few systems in the success factors recruiting. One is called provisioning, wherein you do all the enablements. I'm not saying settings, enablements for the module to work, for recruitment, onboarding, employee central, for any module to work. You enable those in the provisioning. Okay, so we are, the first topic would be basic checks and provisioning, and explanation about basic requirements gathering by using the workbooks. So workbook is something, now Sai, you must have seen the workbook. Guys, we have to
Yes,
make it
Anish.
engaging,
Yes,
so
Anish.
I'll request you to if there is no background noise, turn off your like unmute your microphones, discuss. If I'm asking anything, just say yes or no. I'm not punishing you that you do not know, because you don't know, then only you are here. So just unmute yourself, let's make it engaging. I ask you questions, you ask me questions, because I do not want to make it monotonous. I hope you agree on that part.
Sure,
So
sure, Anish.
basic,
Yeah.
perfect, thanks man. So explanation about the basic requirement gatherings using the workbook. So workbook is a document, you can say Bible, Gita, Quran of our success factors, which is going to host all the information which we have to implement in the system. Be it pick lists are the drop downs which you see in the system. Be it a text field that has to be recorded in the workbook. Be it a rating scale, pick list, role based permission, recruiting settings. Yeah, anything you see here below the first pointer, everything, I mean everything to a minute detail is maintained in the workbook. If at a point client comes and says that I said you have to configure this and you configure that, you throw the workbook, see this is the workbook we have received from you and this is what you wanted. And every time, for future references, I'm saying this thing, for every time if a client makes a change, update that in the workbook, send the updated workbook to the client, so they have the updated workbook and they do not come to you saying that no, you did this by yourself. And also mention the changes in the email if possible. If those changes are too many, just leave that. So everything which we configure in the system in is maintained in the workbooks. Be it uh, permission, field, field type, field label, field permission, role based permissions, pick list value. It's not that we make a pick list with 50 pick list value, or may, let's say for example, the simplest example would be gender. In India we have three or four, whatever that is. Nowadays it is increasing in US. So male, female, unknown. Now we we maintain the pick list, that pick list name is gender, and under that gender there are three pick list values, and we maintain that in the workbook. About the settings, except the provisioning settings, we maintain everything. So let's say you enabled interview scheduling, or the offer letter feature in the system, you maintain that in the um, workbook. So that is our Bible, Gita, Quran during the implementation. After the implementation, even if you are going for re-implementation, if you are new to the client, let's say a size company is working with Blueprint right now. Okay, Blueprint shares the workbook to Sai. Now, if at a point size company does not want to work with Blueprint and they want to work with some other company, they will go to the other company. What is required by the other company is the credentials to access the system and the workbook to know about the configuration. So we are going to, in the next session, as in tomorrow, we are going to discuss about the workbook and what all checks are enabled in the provisioning. Now, recruiting operators are something which you can say those are the roles working during the candidate's life cycle. Recruiter, manager, they can be named differently. So let's say in some companies recruiter can be named as recruitment lead or recruiting assistant, anything. Manager can be named as hiring manager or supervisor or any label the company wants. So there are certain roles which are available in recruiting who are responsible for the candidates life cycle during the recruitment, who are responsible for creating the job requisition, who are responsible for scheduling interviews, conducting interviews, sending offer letter, having the offer approval, initiating the onboarding, screening the candidate. So we are going to discuss about the recruiting operators after the first pointer, as in the after tomorrow. Rating scale. Rating scale is something, let's say you go for an interview, or maybe guys who are from the recruitment background, anyone comes, we did not we during the pen and paper time we did not have that rating scale, but we used to read those people by 1 to 10, out of 10 or maybe out of 5. So if you remember during our school time also we got rated on the basis of numbers. So let's say out of 5 how many marks I got, out of 100 how many marks I got. So this is the same thing, rating scale. Some companies can have a rating scale 1 to 5, 1 to 7, 1 to 10. So we create rating scales in the system and that is useful during the interviews. So if some candidate is coming for the interview, how they can be rated? So we create rating scale in system and associate that with the template. We'll come to that template later. So the candidates can be rated by their respective roles, as in the second point of recruiting operators during the interviews. Now coming to the fourth point, a route map. Now, what do you understand by route? What is a route and route map? Guys, anyone? All three of you? Tarun?
Routing is nothing but we are forwarding, or we are changing the route of that particular. Now, as I can see as a user, sometimes we used to send that routing from one manager to another manager, or like that. The
Yes.
template.
Yes. So what happens when you create the job requisition or you create the offer approval, you cannot be the sole responsible user to have that created and approved. You need to have that approved from upper level, as in, let's say I am a recruiter. I cannot decide on my level, I am not paid that much, or it's not my profile to decide if someone has to be hired in the company or not, if some requisition has to be created or not, if a position is vacant, someone needs to be hired on that position or not. So what happens, a route map is created and that is predefined. It cannot be like altered for each and every case. So let's say I created a route map, company wants a route map, so that manager creates the requisition from the position. We'll come to that later, don't get confused, we are going to discuss everything during these sessions. We are going to talk about everything. We are just having an overview, so do not get confused with any of the terms. If you get confused, keep that question with you, ask me, or we can have those session and all the questions would be answered between those sessions as we go through. So route map is something like, let's say in my current client, manager creates the requisition, it goes to the HRBP for approval. Once HRBP approves, it goes to the next person, as in manager's manager. Once it goes to the manager's manager approves it, and then it goes to the recruitment lead. There is a different role, recruitment lead from recruiter. Recruitment lead fills the relevant information in the job requisition, whatever is pending, whatever has to be filled, and then approves the job. So final approval is done by the recruitment lead. So manager creates the requisition, HRBP is the next approver, the next approver is the manager's manager, and the final approver is the recruitment lead. So the way or the path it is following, or the route it is following, it is called a route map when we create that. And that is going to be uniform. We can create n number of route maps in the system, but for one job requisition template, only one route map can be associated with that. Now next point, pick list. So we discussed about um, gender. So pick list is a drop down wherein you select the values. So let's say for location, as in the country, state, when you go to fill a form, let's say any form you have filled, you click on the field and a drop down comes up. Okay, so you fill the value in the drop down. You select a value from the drop down and it displays there. So that is a pick list. Pick lists are designed so you have the uniform field answer, uniform answer at all the or for from every candidate, and they do not have to type it, because you know certain that for gender either it can be male, female, or unknown. You do not want the external recruit or candidate or anyone by in fact to fill it males, females, or anything they wish. So for certain fields it is already predefined that what has to be selected. For countries, let's say I don't recall how many countries are there, 140, 143, how many, but let's say there are a certain list of countries, it cannot be more than that, and you have to select from that only. You do not have to enter those, or do not have to create a new country. So the fields which has definite value, company asks to create those as pick lists, and those can be selected by the candidate, or the people who are creating the job requisition will show you how to create that and how to manage that in the job requisition or at several places. Now role based permissions in recruitment, most of the permissions are done in for the recruitment life cycle is done in job requisition template only, most of the permissioning. But there are few admin permissions such as initiate onboarding along with the job requisition template, that is done in um, role based permissions also. Let's say offer letter permission. So if the recruiter from Spain, or if the recruiter from Spain has to send an offer letter in Spain only, why do you want to show them the offer letter for all the countries? So we restrict that via permission. We restrict the offer approvals from via permission. We restrict the view of recruitment module via permissions. We restrict this view of the system via permissions, or we assign permissions to have the broader view. So let's say a recruitment consultant or recruitment user, Narsimha is using system as a front end user. Narsimha, hello Narsimha.
Yeah, I'm
I'll not.
here.
Yeah, perfect. So you use the system from the front end view, right? What kind of permission do you have? Do you have all the permissions as an admin, or you have
No,
limited permissions?
I cannot configure the system.
Yes. And what about learning? Do you have access to learning?
No, I don't have.
So what happens? These things we can limit via permissions. So let's recruiting consultant does not need to have permissions to
I
configure the
have
system.
only view permissions. That's it.
Yeah, so do not, yeah, because you are not the implementation partner. So you have been permissions rightly so, permission rightly so. So now if a if if a front-end user does not need to do the configuration, they should not have the permission. And in case of Narsimha, it has not been provided. If Narsimha had been the implementation partner, Narsimha would have been given the permission to configure the system. So via role-based permissions and permission groups, we can we can limit or provide the permissions to the respective users. Now recruiting settings. Recruiting settings are settings under recruiting wherein you enable features in the system. In provisioning, you enable the settings of the recruitment or any of the modules. In the recruiting settings, you enable features in the system. So these are two different things. In provisioning, you enable system, you enable settings. In recruiting settings, you enable features that can be related to interview central, that can be related to offer letter, or that can be related to your candidate profile. Will come to that too. Now JRDM and permissions. JRDM means job requisition data model. There are four templates in or you can say data model in recruiting. One is job requisition data model or job requisition template. It can be multiple template, as in one company or one system can have multiple templates at one time. It can be like one can be used, one job requisition data model or job requisition template would be used, but company can have multiple templates. So let's say why they can have, they would have, or they need to have multiple templates. Let's say a company is present in 50 countries: India, Pakistan, China, Japan, US, UK. For each of the countries, the fields are drastically different. So let's say for one country they have a field, for the other that should not be visible. And as the operators are going to be same, if you use the use one job requisition, the operator would be seeing all the fields, as in the role, or the recruiter or the manager would be seeing all the fields irrelevant of the country. So let's say you do not want manager from China to show the fields which are relevant only to the manager from India. Or maybe they are hiring temporary and permanent employees, or maybe they are hiring students and permanent employees, or trainees or permanent employees, but the fields vary from profile to profile or country to country, and you do not want a manager to view the other field which is not relevant for their profile. So let's say Narsimha or Sai are managers in a company, and they are not supposed to hire trainees, they are supposed to hire high level employees, or you can say confidential employees. And for those confidential employees, the fields should not be visible to the manager who is handling the training, or the manager who is handling the trainee should not be viewing the fields which are applicable for the confidential hire. And for the managers who are doing the confidential hire, they should not be viewing the trainees fields, because that would be irrelevant for them. So we create two templates in that case. So similarly, there comes a need wherein we have to create multiple templates, but as the processing or maintenance becomes a difficulty, we try to convince the client to use as less or as less templates as possible. We try to convince them, but in some cases, if that does not work, we create multiple templates. Now, for one of the clients, we have created 27, and the company's name is Amcor, and they have 27 job requisition data model. Finally, they got moved to one standard after 3 years of implementation. Now, permissioning of the job requisition.
Manish,
Yes, yes, yes,
I have a question here regards
yes,
to
please.
offer templates. You mean to say they moved to one template? Is it a generic template for all the job requisitions, or else it
It
would be
is a
dynamically?
no, no, no. It is a generic template for all the job requisitions, all the countries and all the plants. So they had, depending on the, for Amcor, they had not offer job requisition. They had
Hmm,
multiple templates depending on their plant and
hmm,
country. But now they
Okay.
have moved to one standard template that is applicable for all the countries and all the plants.
Okay. So there is no option for dynamic templates to based on the selections of the variables.
No, no, dynamic templates, because see, the roles are going to be similar in all the the job requisition. So if you have a role and if you have given a permission to a certain field, that permission is going to be applicable for that particular manager or particular recruiter role, and it will be visible for all the requisitions. Dynamic part is not there in the job requisition. Dynamic part, I think you're coming from this role based permissions.
No, no, Anish, not from
Hmm.
role-based permissions. The
Dynamic.
offer templates.
Hmm.
Yeah. So what happened? I will give you my real-time scenario where we can see hundreds of templates created in the system right now.
Hmm.
Okay. And whenever recruiter, whoever existing recruiters, they are trained, well trained, which template, for which application to choose.
Hmm.
But whenever new recruiter comes in, they're
Hmm.
picking the wrong template, and then again whenever going to the QC check, and again
Hmm.
it is a double work for us
So what
to
can be done?
explore.
What can be done?
Hmm.
This can be restricted via permissions.
Okay.
So this can you give the offer. Remember, I was saying that for Spain's recruiter who is sending offer letters only or doing offer approvals only for country Spain,
Hmm.
candidates, they do not need to see the India offer letter or India offer approval template. So
Yeah.
we provide the
So
permission
within
only
India,
for that.
yeah, within India,
Hmm.
let's say I'm the recruiter within
Hmm.
India, and I'm recruiting for Indian entity, and I can see that multiple close to 75 templates
Hmm.
within one country.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a
I got
major
got your point.
problem we
Got
are
your
going.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that can be resolved via training only. There is no check on that part.
Okay. Understood.
And
Go ahead.
if your company is investing good amount of money in success factors, there is one tool called Enable Now.
Hmm. Dynamic
So
offer template.
no, no, no.
Hmm.
Enable Now. Enable Now. Via
Okay.
Enable Now, you can have pop-ups at each and every place. So
Hmm.
let's say I hover on a field and Enable Now has been configured in my system, and there is some relevant configuration related to that field. When I hover
Hmm.
on that field, remember we have help text in recruitment.
Yes.
So it works as a help text. When you hover on that field, it is going to display a message, whatever message has been configured. So let's
Hmm.
say if they hover on the offer template field wherein they have to choose the offer template, they can be reminded that they have to choose the correct one. It cannot be exact template name, but they have to choose the correct one. So they get a check there, not check, a reminder that they have to choose this the right one. But talking about the dynamic part, it's not possible. It can be resolved via training only.
Okay. Enable now. You mean to say, is it the third party tool or within
No, no, success factors
Success?
tool only.
Okay. Then fine. I will explore it. Thanks. Thanks for the
Sure,
input,
welcome, man.
Anish.
Okay, now candidate profile template. So there are four templates in the system: job requisition template or job requisition data model, candidate profile template or candidate data model, application template or application candidate application data model, offer template or offer data model, offer approval data model. Now, candidate profile template, for each and every success factors, there can be one candidate profile template only. Means there can be one candidate profile template. It cannot be more than one. We will come to that. Then it will be clear picture why there is one only. No application template. Application, there can be n number of application templates in the system, but only one application template can be associated with one job requisition template or data model. So let's say you have created the job requisition, candidate is applying on the job requisition, they see the fields such as their first name, last name, middle name, address and all. Those fields are configured in application template and candidate profile template. We'll come to that later also when we do the training. Offer template. means offer approval template. Herein you have the offer approval within the company. It is not sent to the external recruit. Offer template has all the salary components, location relevant to the profile, relevant to the job requisition. All the fields are there, and those fields can be referenced from job requisition and application. You do not have to recreate these fields. So let's say for first name, last name, location of the company or address of the candidate, department, company code or company employer or city of the candidate, and salary components. These fields, leave the salary component as of now. These fields does not have to recreate it because those values are already being filled in job requisition and uh, candidate application. So we reference those fields from application and job requisition template to the offer template. Now, on the salary component parts, it can be either part of the application template or the offer template. If that is part of the application template, we can have them referenced on the offer template. Reference means we can forward the value of the salary components or the location or the candidate's name, for example, and company's name from the job requisition template, position number on which the candidate is getting hired. We can have those forwarded to the offer approval template. Now we can have a route map as in within the template, that if the uh, approval is being done, you cannot be the only party or only person to approve the offer approval. Let's say I am a recruiter, I'm creating the offer approval. I cannot be the authorized person to approve the salary or offer the salary. I cannot be the deciding person that this person should be given 10 lakh, 15 lakh, 20 lakhs, how much money this person has to be provided. So depending on the inputs given to us or the recruiter or any role who has the permission to create the offer approval, they create the offer approval and send it to the relevant users who have to approve the offer. It will be explained in detail how to create, how to configure it in coming sessions. Now, application status configuration is something you can say the life cycle of the candidate. So let's say the candidate applies on the job requisition looking at the job posting. That can be externally or within success factors. That can be internal candidate, external candidate. They see the job requisition, see the profile of the job, and then apply on the job requisition. Then the candidate would be coming under the talent pipeline or the applicant status. So let's say I do not have the system right now to show, or I would have shown you that how it shows. I'll show you how to create, how that follows, how the candidate is moved into the application status or the talent pipeline. Now coming to the multi-stage environment, there are three environments in the talent pipeline, or you can say recruitment process. One is single stage application or single stage environment. Second is multi-stage environment, and one is late stage environment or late stage application. So first is single stage application. In the single stage application, all the fields in the application template are visible to the candidate at the application level only. When they create applies on the job requisition, they see all the fields therein, all the fields when applying. So let's say for a candidate, the US people are quite specific about it. They do not want to share the gender. They do not want to share their national ID information in the first go. And there can be many countries or people, or there can be many people who do not want to fill all the information at one go. So let's say I apply on a job requisition, I see that they're asking about my notice period, they're asking about my previous salary, they're asking about my preferences, they're asking about so many things which are not relevant as of now. That can be relevant at the time of the assessment or interview, or at the time of the offer approval. But why are they asking that right now? That can be overwhelming. So there comes this savior multi-stage environment, wherein you ask limited questions at the application. Let's say you ask the candidate about their location preference, their notice period, and their name and address. That's it, with the resume and your initial detail about the education and all. That's it. They do not ask their gender. They want to ask the language preference or any specific information at later stage. So via multi-stage environment, this is also enabled in the provisioning. This is one of the settings. We make the candidate fill limited field search at different stages. So let's say at interview stage, you ask a separate question. At assessment scale, you ask a separate question. At offer stage, you ask the gender. At offer letter, you ask their location preference. At initiate on at background check, you ask them questions related to the background. So see how different it is. At application at single stage application, you ask so many questions that the candidate became overwhelming, that it became overwhelming. Candidate got overwhelmed. He or she might not have applied on that. So just not to lose the potential candidate because of this long list of questionnaire, we ask them at different stages. So this is what the candidate experience is, which I mentioned in the first recruitment's introduction. And there is the last thing called late stage application. So the candidate has not yet applied, but they have moved throughout the talent pipeline. They are about to be hired. Now you send a late stage application. You via the latest stage application, you send them invite link at the later stage of the recruitment life cycle. You do not ask them to apply in the first go. You find if the candidate is good enough, then you ask them to apply. So late stage application also will go through. And then candidate management, moving candidate from one status to another status and adding candidates. It is a simple thing. Like once the candidate has been screened, you move that candidate to interview. If the candidate is successful in the screening part, you move the candidate to interview scheduling. If the candidate has done good in the interviews, they have been rated high, then we move the candidate to the offer approval or assessment. So how to move the candidates, how to add candidate to a job requisition, we'll see how it is done. Now interview scheduling. How do you schedule the interview? How do you permission that? Who can schedule the interview? How the screen looks? We are going to have a go on that. Now interview central. Interview scheduling and interview central are different. In interview scheduling, you schedule the interview of the candidate for that particular job requisition and for that particular candidate. But in interview central, the people who are supposed to take the interview, conduct the interview, they conduct they view the interviews within interview central. They rate the candidates on the basis of their interviews in or within interview central. Now, onboarding a candidate. How a candidate is onboarded. We are not going to do the onboarding part completely. We are just going to do the basic, look at the basic configuration, how the initiate onboarding is enabled, how permissioning is done so the candidate's onboarding can be initiated, how that permissioning can be done so that button is accessible to the user, because the initiate onboarding permissioning is done in two ways. One, you do the you do that in the job requisition data model or job requisition template. And second, in role based permissions, and if any of the permissions is missing, if the job requisition data model permissioning is not done, then the initiate onboarding button would not be coming for that particular role. Or if the role based permissioning is not done, then also the initiate onboarding permissioning is button is not going to come for that particular user or role. So we'll see how the RBP or the role based permissioning is done, how the permissioning is done in job requisition data model. So this is a feature permission, this is a feature, initiate onboarding is a feature. Now moving the candidate to employee central. Once the onboarding is done, on the date of joining, the candidate would be uh, a job runs in the back end and the candidate gets moved into employee central and become an internal employee. Recruiting emails and ad hoc emails. Now recruiting emails are something which are sent to the candidate, or you can say this is a communication between candidate and success factors or candidate or company. So let's say you move the candidate to pre-screening and you have enabled an email that the manager gets an email that they have to come and screen this candidate, or HRBP has to screen this candidate, or any role has to screen this candidate. Then we create the recruiting emails. So we are going to create recruiting emails, how to create those emails, and what are the uses of those emails, how those can be attached to statuses, so they trigger all by themselves, looking during the process, and what all tokens can be used in that, what all information can be shared in that. So these all things we are going to cover during our recruiting sessions. Any questions so far for about this only? Narasimha,
No,
Aditya,
Anish,
Sai
I'm
Kumar.
good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No questions. So let's regroup at the same time, 7:30.
Yeah, sure. And is there any possibility to little, prepone this schedule, like 7 to 8 or something? So
Oh,
till daily 8:30 means I will get late, daily to office.
oh, you go to office.
Yes,
I hate your company now. I'm kidding.
no worries. Yeah,
I'm kidding.
but when I go to
No worries. No
office
worries.
only, I feel very comfortable, not in work from home.
No worries. So what do you guys say? 7 to 8? Yeah, that would be a bit early for me because I am not a morning person. I'm a night person, but nevertheless I'll manage. So what is the timing? 7 to 8, or we can do 6:30 to 7:30 also if possible for you guys. Hello,
Evening also fine for me, anything after 7 or 8 also.
Aditya Narasimha, 6:30 to 7:30 or 9 to 10 in the night.
For
6:30 to
me, evening
7:30 in
would
the morning.
uh, evening would be fine.
9 to 10.
Yeah, fine.
Uh, don't call me sir. It feels like I'm an old person. I'm not that old.
No, no. Yeah, yeah.
Narasimha,
Yeah.
Narasimha. Yeah. So what time?
Yeah.
6:30 to 7:30 30 in the morning, or 9 to 10 in the evening.
Morning is fine, but because evening we don't know, right, when we will be coming back. So we'll take some time for traveling and everything.
What about you, Aditya and Sai? 6:30 to 7:30.
Anything is
Um,
fine for me. 6:30 or 7:30 or evening 9 to 10. Take your call,
yeah.
best. Yeah.
So now this lies between on Narasimha and Aditya.
Uh, if possible, I would prefer for evening. So, if not, also I'm okay with that.
Okay then, because I Narasimha may have problem coming back from office. I don't know, like. So let's have from 6:30 to 7:30 morning. Okay. Hello.
Sure, Anish. Yeah, I'm good.
Sure,
Yeah,
man.
sure.
Sure. See you tomorrow then. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
You too. Bye bye. Take care, everyone.